everybody, it's Rosa. It is so gloomy outside that I literally had to turn on the lights to see because it's like so gloomy. This is Arkansas. Gloomy. Probably gonna have thunderstorms today. Okay, so last time we talked, we were talking about the new collection, which is that one. I did not launch it yet. I came up with another idea. I'm gonna do like a whole detailed launch marketing campaign kind of thing, and then most likely do like a drop kind of marketing structuring on Friday, and we'll see how that goes. I've been looking at a lot of videos about how to do those kind of drop launches and stuff like that, and I might either decide to do it on Friday or I might do a 2 week kind of thing. I don't want to get this wrong. I want to do it and give my store integrity and my business integrity. But over the weekend, I had some really good news. You can see that the face behind me has changed. That one actually sold. The face actually, not this one. The other one that was behind me, the man face that was grayish, actually sold. And I was so relieved and so happy. I actually was selling 3 pieces this weekend on eBay. And I was jumping up and down. I was so happy. I was like, yay, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Because, it was dry. It was really, really dry for a while. And it's saddening when you don't get sales on your art. It really is. I'm sure a lot of artists understand that. And it's frustrating because it makes you not necessarily feel less than, it makes you feel like win, okay? And that is a frustrating feeling, okay? Which is why I started doing that kind of stuff, right? And then I found this one in my collection, in my garage, and I was like, oh, okay, he's a good replacement. And so when I figured out that that one had sold, I was like, oh, okay, let me look at my data again and see what about him sold, right? And his facial features and stuff like that. And I found the reference image that I used to make him. He was a gray image, and then that piece, the actual reference image was actually like a reddish blue, more so like a purplish tone. Proof that you don't have to follow the colors to make something amazing in the reference image, okay? And it came out really good. I think the reason why I've never done more of those is because when I was doing the variations of them, the images would look too much the same, right? Unlike this one, when I was doing the variations of this one, I was able to get it to get different, at least on some levels, and it didn't look the same. And then when I was making it, it didn't look the same either. It looked cohesive, but it also looked unique for every single piece. And that's like super important. Other than with the faces that close up, the differences were so small to me back then. And I made that one I can't remember even the date right now, but I made it pretty long ago. I think that the date I put was February, maybe even April or March. I think February, April, or March, right? And so, that was the difference between the two. So I might try. I did try a little bit. I did find a couple good prompts that still follow the numbered figured brand, and that was exciting. I did find a couple good prompts that make a couple good reference images. I don't know if I want to do them because I feel like they might be large scale and need more. But what I did do is I bought some more, what's it called? Oil pastels. And then I bought some acrylic markers. So we're going to see how these work. With acrylic markers and oil pastels, you have to use a workable fixative and let it dry for about an hour, and then you can work on it back again. The only problem with the workable fixative is I got to put a mask on and use it outside, and because it's thunderstormy, I got to decide I might do that today or tomorrow or whenever. It really depends on the weather and stuff, and that will define it all. I think my cat's being annoying. Anyways, this weekend was really good. I had a bunch of eye-opening elements to myself and stuff. And December is when I started doing this art stuff, right? Prior to doing art like this and doing eBay, I was a freelance ghostwriter. I wrote a lot of stories for people. I sold my stuff on Fiverr. And I sold my stuff to internet marketers doing articles those were not AI, you know what I mean? And when I learned about this technique taught by that course creator, I was like, oh, maybe I could do pet portrait commissions, right? And that excited me because I was like, oh my God, that would be so great. That would be so great, right? I didn't tell my family this, right? I didn't tell anybody this. I was just thinking it's in my head, like that would be fun to be able to take this skill that I just learned, this technique I just learned, and use it this way, right? And so, still in the style that kind of fits my love of color and blah, 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 you know? And so, with oil pastels, right? And what I did is I tested it out. I had a friend that lived in California also, an older lady. She'll be 60 this next year. And she's like an art person and stuff like that. And I sent her a piece of her dog as a gift, right? And it broke my heart, the first thing she said. And she said it, when she called me when she received it, and she called me when I was inside a thrift store, inside shopping with Goodwill. And I couldn't show my emotion, right? But the first thing she said was, what is it? I can't tell what it is. And I'm like, it's your dog. And she goes, but it looks like a fox. I don't understand. I'm like, her dog is the color of a fox, for one, okay? And I couldn't, I mean, it killed me. And it hurt a lot, so I didn't decide to do that. I didn't go down that route, you know? And I think the reason I'm saying this is because over time, that was in December, we're now in June, over time, her distaste and mean arrogance overclouded every judgment I had with everything, right? Every single thing, right? Every single thing. On Tuesday, so I distanced myself from her for a little bit, right? I let her define me for up until, like, I think it's June, up until around March, right? I tried to distance myself in March because I was getting really sad and getting frustrated. I felt like my eBay sales were going down. I was doing a lot of art and I wasn't working. And then I couldn't talk to my friend at all. You know, she would just talk about herself and it would not be me, and she wouldn't really care. It was just like, oh, okay. I would send her something. I'm a crafter. I'm gonna send her something, and she would say, "Why did you send this to me? Like, I don't like it. This is not for me. This is for someone else. Like, you should have done this. You should have done that." And it was just like, really frustrating, right? I tried to distance myself. I tried to and then she tried to still come back into our life. On Tuesday, I was super busy on Tuesday. I'm at this location with my daughter, and it's super quiet, so I have to be like really quiet in the room. And she starts texting me. Texts me 10 times in a row, and she's this like bragger, okay? And she texted me a video of her house, a video of her dog, pictures of her flowers, and all of this stuff. And then at the very last text message, she says, send me what you're working on, right? And I'm like, okay, I was about to do it. And then reality hit in, and it was like, wait a second, Rosa, why are you going to do that to yourself? When you know she ain't going to understand this. She ain't going to understand this. It's not for her. It's not targeted to her, for one. Okay, and two, if she doesn't like an animal, how is she going to understand that? And worse yet, I'm going to crave more action, more reaction than she's going to give me. She'll hug like this and give me like an emoji and whatever, right? And then it's going to kill my whole focus and kill the whole dream and kill my whole point, my whole like idea, my whole plan, right? Yeah, I'm an independent person, but it still would affect me, and that sucks so badly, right? So instead of doing that, I sent her a message and I said, I'm not going to do that. Every time I send you something of my art, it always ends in sadness on my end. So I'm not going to do that, right? And she blew up, right? She blew up on me. It was crazy. Like, I never had the guts to tell her that before, ever, right? Ever, ever, ever. And I was proud of myself for telling her that in a text message. And then she said I had to sell my energy, and she like comes back, and the next message she gives me is this long message saying that me wanting her approval for my art is not her obligation, and that's my problem, and I should go work on that because like I don't appreciate everything that she's done. And it was just this like long message of it being my fault that my feelings are hurt by her not liking my art. And that is my like issue and not her problem. And she's not supposed to actually say anything good about anything I do, but I'm supposed to appreciate her, right? Instead of replying with a text message, my my uncle, my amazing uncle, who's become a pastor, he was like, a lot of times people write a text message and it comes off negatively. And maybe you should call instead of just writing back. And I said, you know what? I think I will do that. So instead of just writing a reply, I said, can I call you tomorrow? Fine, let me call you. She gives me a thumbs up, fine, right? And then the morning of, I write a whole speech out, blah, 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 right? Really nice speech. Telling her that she doesn't need to buy me anything. She doesn't need to do anything like that. I just wanted her support, I just wanted her support. I wanted her to be a friend, not to be like mothering me or anything like that, because she was like always trying to mother me and crap and tell me what to do. And I got tired of it. I just wanted a friend. She canceled 20 minutes before, right? And I was like, okay. My daughter was like, Mom, just record your voice saying it. Like, do it as a voicemail. I said, oh, okay. Right, yeah, do it as a voicemail. And then that evening, oh, I can't see it. Just text it. And I'm like, no. And so I do a voicemail, send it. And I send it again. Oh, I can't see it, just text it. And I'm like, I am not texting this. Nope. I am not texting my little, like, speaking my truth. Nope, 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 nope. Right? And then I say, never mind. I ask her once again, can we talk the next day at the same time, right? She says, I think I'm going to be busy. And I'm like, this is someone who doesn't have like a real job or anything, like real job. I mean, like she doesn't actually work a 9 to 5. She has she rents homes, right? She rents her home out. And the rest of the day she's doing reselling. You know what I mean? She's doing reselling on like a luxury website. So she's like always like everything has to make at least $500. It's not like it cannot give me less than $500. I mean, this is like really luxury. This is California people, so whatever, right? And she said no again, right? And I was like, the next morning I sent a message that was, I would say, looking back, might have been considered mean, but after all the times this woman has hurt me, not knowing it, and me being too afraid to tell her that she's hurt me for the fear of me hurting her, and my low self-esteem and my like want of a friendship so badly, I straight up just told her. I straight up said, yesterday I was ready to rebuild our friendship. Like, I was ready for it. I was ready. I was hopeful. I was like, yeah, let's do this. that morning, I was like, you know what? I'm done. Go find someone else that you can boss around. Because the age gap turned her into a controlling friend that, like, if I didn't do what she said, she would parade me with it and continuously parade me with it. And if I didn't do it, I had to, not only did I have to do what she was saying, I had to take a picture of myself and my kids doing what she's saying to do. It was just really ugly, right? And so the reason I'm saying this is the reason I'm sharing this with you, which is like crazy because it's like a long video all of a sudden, is because that woman in December changed how my rotation of my life went because of that one statement, right? Of her saying that the portrait that I made of her animal looked like a fox. When her dog is literally the colors of a fox, has the ears and everything like that. I mean, if I showed you a picture of her damn dog, you'd think the same thing. Like, kind of looks like a dang fox. So I can understand how the painting would look like a fox. This is not like a black and white dog. This is a golden fox-looking breed. You know what I mean? And it has the ears like a dang freaking fox. Anyway, I'm telling you this because I want you to know that you can't let people like her get into your life and define how you do your art. And I decided to do pet portraits this week. I'm going to build a portfolio around that because I'm going to anti myself from her. And I'm going to see how it goes. Am I still going to build my numbered figures collection? Yes. But I want to see if, now that she's out of my head and I can actually get rid of it and get rid of that negativity that was coming, that doubt, that insecurity that came from her judgment and her lack of support, but her wanting me to support everything and bow to her greatness all the time. I feel like as someone who did freelancing and ghostwriting before, I can handle pet portraits. And with the techniques of oil pastels that I know, that I've learned to do, I can do it. I know I can do it. And I knew I could do it back then. But when someone tells you someone important to you tells you something like that, it hurts. And it makes you change everything. And I will always wonder, if I hadn't let that get to me, where would I be right now? I think I would still have a huge eBay store, for one. But I would also have pet commissions, which is really amazing. I have 4 cats and a dog and a fish. I'm qualified. So you're going to see me make a couple commission pieces. I'm going to, not just do my pets, obviously. I'm going to do one of my cats because he's a tuxedo cat and he's really handsome. And I'll do him, my dog. I don't do my dog because I have all my cats are, black and white. So I can't do all of them because that just kind of muscles it up. I'm going to do one of my cats. And then I'll find some pictures, some reference images online of different pets, and I'll see how they go. I'm not going to let negativity get in the way of the drive that I have for myself. That woman, I didn't realize it until now how much control she had. And I think it was all about me being loyal to her. And because that email was sent, that text message was sent on Friday, and I blocked her right after, so she couldn't give me a reply. She couldn't call me. She couldn't do anything. I just blocked it. I was done. My son and my husband were super happy. My son was worried that I was going to start over the whole thing, and then she's going to become a controlling person all over again, and it's going to be bad for our family. I mean, no joke. If you ever have a friend telling you how to invest your money and they have no right to do that because they're not your financial advisor, check them, because no one should be telling you to invest your money and then asking you to prove that you did what they said you did, that you said that they told you to do. So asking you to show me the stock you invested, to show me you're investing in it. That was her, okay? Literally. And I can't believe, like, looking back, I was okay with that, you know? Crazy, right? Anyways, art. Okay. This one will be launched as well, not a drip launch, launch marketing. I have a whole campaign planned. I haven't decided the timeline yet. I'm hoping I can release it on Friday. Because Monday, there's no telling. I'm going to advance that collection while trying to build a pet portfolio. And then my plan is for the pet portfolio is to market locally and see if I can actually test out the waters before I try to get big. So the intent is that I'm going to use Facebook groups and put a couple listings on there, because I joined I think 5 or 6, maybe even 8 different groups, and I'll post my pet portrait offering and then see what happens. And I really assume for the best. I'm really good at talking to people one-on-one about things like that. And then I think because AI allows me to take an image, develop it into my style, and come up with something beautiful, I know I can get it right, you know? And as long as I think the pieces that I do show the example of how this will not be exact realism, this will be expressionism. Maybe not as deep as him or as deep as him, but it won't be this like perfection thing. And I think like pet faces count as well, right? I did sell a couple animals on eBay before too. I did sell like a couple dogs, and then they were neo-expressionism. They weren't like realistic. They weren't realism, you know. So I know I can do it. Her telling me I couldn't do it in the early parts of my art career made it where I didn't want to do it, and then kind of killed the bud. You know what I mean? And I refuse to let that happen. My family supports me, and my buyers support me. I didn't need someone like her to tell me I wasn't good enough. And I'm gonna tell you, like what I said before, we're all artists. We're all amazing. And we're all fabulous. And someone's going to like the art we provide, period. And I have proof of that. I have sales that say people like the art that I provide. Her, no. And that's okay. She was never my target audience. The very last conversation we had was actually pretty okay, if I remember correctly. And then the text messages just got worse and worse. And it was just so rose-colored glasses to the extremely looking back. Um, mm, 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 mm. I'm free though. Yay, free, no controlling relationship. Now I just have my babies to take care of. I'm gonna probably like hunt for a new friend, obviously. Trying to hunt for a new friend. That's funny. Here comes Bumble on me right now. Woo. Anyways, I think that this week's gonna be amazing. We're gonna do a lot of art. We're gonna do a lot of creative marketing, and we're going to learn a lot, and we're going to have some fun, because that one has to be launched. This new one, that should be on eBay. I will check to make sure, but that one should be, because it was in the garage, so I'm assuming it's live on eBay. And I think that these ones are too. So, my art is everything, and my creativity is important. We're going to have a good week because I say so. And let's enjoy this journey of a great week. And let's enjoy this journey of amazingness. Because when you lose a friend, and I do miss her crazily, and I think what I miss is the person that I was hoping she would become after I said when our relationship needs to change. I miss that hopeful person, that hope of a change of relationship, where she wasn't going to boss me around, where she wasn't going to define how I lived my life and how I did everything. And where she wasn't going to not support me. I missed that, the hope of that kind of thing. But the reality is, that woman was not going to change. She's 60 years old almost. She ain't going to change. And that's her problem, not mine. She ain't got no kids. Ain't never been married. That's her problem. I got 3 kids. Haha, I got 3 kids, 4 pets, and a fish. Okay? So when you have anybody doubting your art, I need you to remind yourself one thing. They're not your target buyer. That's it. Because the buyer out there is going to love y'all stuff. Period. They don't love it. That person who didn't like it, that's their problem. That's not your art. That's not your buyer. And that's obvious. They don't like it. And another warning I want to say. Because I gifted her so much of my creative stuff and she didn't appreciate it and didn't like it and stuff like that, be careful who you gift your art to because of that pure reaction. I would hate for you to experience the pain that I feel you giving someone something you put your heart into, and then instead of them showcasing any kind of thing for it, they're like, oh, thanks. And then they much better appreciate when you give them a gift card than something you worked hours on, which is kind of messed up, right? Like, oh my goodness, I got a gift card for Starbucks. Or, oh my goodness, you gave me another piece of art, and I don't know what it is. And you don't deserve that. No, none of us deserve that, but we have it, and we're going to move on. So be aware, this collection's going to launch this week. So let's watch us figure that out. This is a long video, and I'm sorry, but I had to get that stuff off my chest, and I had to make sure that not only did I get it off my chest, but you get motivated from it, because I think that it happens to a lot of us, and it's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah, those controlling relationships, controlling friendships, dating, boyfriends, family, whatever. You pick your family. You pick your lovers. And if they aren't good to you, they aren't worthy of you. You, period, are an amazing artist. No matter what you do. I'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye-bye.